Hi, this is Taipan for Shanzai.com, and here today we're looking at yet another iPad tablet, this time the iPad 710, and you'll see it's also in the 7-inch form factor. If you look at the box, we're looking at your typical Shanzai box again, white box with a little bit of an iPad type looking device on top. This time though they've gone on all out and used Android icons though, which is kind of nice instead of copying just the Apple icons. Inside the box you'll see that we've got a little mini USB to regular sized USB, earphones, your adapter to plug in the device to power supply, some instructions for those who read Chinese or English as well. There's both included, which is kind of nice. Inside the insert we have the actual device itself, and we also have the monster HDMI cable, which starts from a mini HDMI connection here on one side and connects to your TV through the regular HDMI port on the other side of the cable. We also got an additional mini USB to USB connection for the device as well. How that all comes into play, if we check out the I/O of the device, you'll see here on the one side it's got a USB host, mini USB, power supply connection, earphone connection, and the mini HDMI port that connects to this special cable there. And then there's a TF card, which is basically our SD card memory, which we've already popped in our memory stick in there with our test content. Coming around the device to the top, we've got an ESC key and a menu key, power button, and a reset hole so that you can poke your paper clips in there and reset your device. Now, I think you can see that the chassis doesn't look like a lot of the other devices that we're seeing. As you come around the end here, there's still a slot here for the legacy stylus, which could be used. Coming around the device, there's not that much more on the actual edges of the device, and on the back side of the device is just a little ventilation here, possibly let some speaker noise out there as well. But before we let go of the form factor here and talk about the finish of it, I have to say, you might not be able to see it on the video here, but it's kind of that slightly rubberized plastic that you used to find on a lot of the backs outside a lot of mobile phones. I happen to actually really like it, and it's one of those things that doesn't pick up your fingerprints. So if you're one of those people that's really irritated by fingerprints on your tablets, this is probably a good device for you. I've hit the power switch there while we were flipping around with the device, and it's basically powered up. And what you can see is a nice resistive screen here running Android 2.1. Internally we're talking about a Rockchip 660 megahertz processor with 4 gigabytes of internal RAM, actually, which is quite a bit. Sorry, 4 gigabytes of internal memory, I should say. Now, one of the things that we noticed when playing around with this device right off the bat is it's got a really beautiful screen, and it is a resistive screen still. But actually, at first when we started playing with it, I was asking myself, is this a capacitive screen? It's a little bit different than a lot of the other typical resistive. In fact, I've got one of the other devices here so we can compare the two. Side by side, as they say. Now, one of the things you'll notice about the typical devices we see with the resistive screen is that the actual coating on the resistive screen continues to cover on the outside of the device all the way around, including the bezeled area here in black. So there's probably some kind of cover or layer on top of that to help it sort of blend the whole thing together to combine the screen to the actual device. And what that does is it kind of makes the resistiveness less responsive, we've discovered, and it also happens to be a massive mirror and fingerprint magnet. Moving back to the iPad 710, you'll find that it's less of a problem. The actual screen is subset a little tiny bit from the outside edge of the screen, so it's not touching and it's not flush with the rest of the device, but the screen itself is more beautiful, more responsive, and probably the best resistive screen that we've actually played around with. It's really noticeably how much better it is. So for general performance of the device, it's always good to take a look at the videos. On this particular one, we can pop those videos up here. There is some demo content loaded on the device as well as our usual test content. We'll give you a little taste of the demo content so give you something fresh instead of looking at our booth bay video again. So here's the Girls' Generation performing one of their videos. I think you can really see the screen quality makes the video look great. Despite how good the video quality is, I can't really stand that song, I'm sorry. Apologize for that. We did also test our typical 720p and 1080p videos. It wasn't able to play the 1080p videos, to let you know that straight off the bat, but it did play our 720p booth bay video, approaching probably the same quality level as the Telechip devices that we've reviewed before. Remembering that this one has a 660 MHz rock chip device inside of it. So actually, they're getting close to that Telechip type video performance. One of the unique features of the APAD 710 is it's got a BlackBerry-like trackball, or blue ball, I guess. I'm not sure what you want to call that, but there is a trackball here on the side. And while it seems a little bit silly at first on a touchscreen device, actually, we've reviewed units with trackballs before. They are kind of handy for scrolling up and down through things while you're browsing websites or here in the video files, or you're just sort of scrolling through, checking them out. And by actually clicking the trackball itself, you can actually select the item that you've highlighted. So in a sense, actually the trackball is quite useful. One of the things that we're really liking about the APAD 710 is, while it moves along into the performance category of some of the better tablets that we reviewed lately, it also includes the front-facing camera, the front-facing camera on the device, which we do like, which will help you with applications like Ring or any other video chat applications that will be coming out for Android, bearing in mind that this device runs Android 2.1 at the moment. The browsing experience on the device we found seemed to be quite typical of most of the Shanzai tablets that we review these days. Not blisteringly fast, but not so slow as the older tablets that we'd first started reviewing, so that's impressive. This one comes included with the app market on it, and we were able to download and access Facebook immediately without any problems whatsoever. One of the other great places, of course, where screen quality comes into play is in the photos. So let's take a look at some of the photos in the photo browser. They've kindly loaded up lots of nice content for you here. Select one of those. No, we don't want to set that as wallpaper. Let's go back. Let's just select that one. Lots of beautiful colored jelly beans here for you. You can see the vibrant colors really do show up nicely on the device. The APAD 710 also works as a nice novel-sized ebook reader. It's got the shelves of ebook application, which is quite attractive, a very Apple iPad-like, if I don't mind saying. And here we've opened up our book that we've actually already kind of been reading, so it's been left at halfway through. It's got the nice little scrolling effect here on the side for you to change the pages. You can see the page curling there as you flip the page over. Oh, let's get to the next page. Oh, yet another page. Yes, we're just blasting through that book. But it's actually kind of a good size. The text is good and clear to read. I'm not sure you'd want to read the entire novel on here, but you could definitely read little bits of a book on short commutes to different places. So I think sort of to wrap things up for the APAD 710, I'd like to say that you can find this online priced around the $150 range. Now, at $144 on Mori Mobile's website, I would say the quality of the device comes in with a screen and an included camera and basic performance of the rock chip processor inside probably brings your tablet performance closer to some of the $200 devices that we've actually reviewed recently. So in that sense, I think it's probably one of the best values you can get for an Android 2.1 7-inch tablet right now.